We're on a pretty magical journey, but even so, sometimes things don't go our way. The transmission breaks, we run into a bombie, an earthquake triggers a tsunami warning, or a simple hike turns into a jungle odyssey, some of which we know how to handle, some of which not.
Okay, what are we supposed to do in a tsunami warning? Am I supposed to do something?
Come along for the ride as Scout tries to handle a series of unfortunate events.
Oh, there he goes!
And still have a little fun along the way.
This day has been something.
This is the most tsunami warning wild day in the world.
Between the sun and the deep blue sea, that's where you find.
It is breakfast time here. We have the rare privilege of having some peppers on board. So I'm going to do a simple take on shakshuka.
She's a shakshuka fan.
Yeah, I'm a shakshuka fan. Shakshuka, ready to go. If that doesn't look delicious.
Delicious, thank you.
Welcome.
Cool.
My sight words are getting very difficult, Dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Day 3?
Yeah.
What's a hard one today?
Today I have crawl, 100 each, object, along.
Belly's full. We decided to go for a little stroll on land.
We are trying to discover a trail that is undiscoverable. I feel like somebody's gonna shoot me with some pygmy darts any minute now.
How much further?
I don't know. Further to what? Further to where? Eily and I are in the jungle. The boys have abandoned us, so they're not answering our calls, and there's no path. We are literally just standing in the middle of the forest here, surrounded by spider webs. Whew, I hope this view is worth it. Oh my god, what's happening to me? Something stuck to me.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, Dad, you've got to help Mom. Mom, turn around.
What is it?
It's. Ah! What happened? Oh my gosh!
What was it?
It was a. What happened?
What?
A millipede.
Oh god, on my back. This isn't the best scout outing we've ever had.
I'm gonna lead him in circles for a little bit. See if I can toughen him up a touch.
We have received a earthquake here and have received a tsunami warning from the Geological Society here in Tonga. I don't have any additional information right now, don't know, but typically here we do get fast-running currents, usually with tsunamis, so just be on the lookout and we'll give an update here on channel 26 as soon as we have more information.
Okay, what are we supposed to do in a tsunami warning? Am I supposed to do something?
Well, I know. I mean,
We're sheltered.
If we were on land, we would go up to high ground.
We're sheltered. It's not gonna come from anything, and if it comes from out in the ocean, it's gonna hit the. Anyway,
I tend to agree that we're in a fine spot
it's
here.
just gonna go through the pass.
Currently don't have any other additional information, but people are being asked to seek higher ground at this time here in Bilbao. The schools are emptying out the kids and sending them back home. And for those that are in low areas, need to go to higher ground.
What do you do on a boat?
Yeah.
And what about the boats? Did they say how huge will be the wave?
Negative, there's no additional information at this time. For those that are probably along the wharf, if you want to move yourselves off and get yourselves into the middle of the bay to a little bit deeper waters, that would probably be suggested idea at this time. Typically what happens with our tsunamis here is it creates offsetting currents. We typically don't get a big wave, but we had a pretty good shaker, so this will probably be a first for us. So if you happen to see anything, if you could just alert us back here.
The earthquake was 6.5 magnitude.
Wow.
Wow.
With the quake being over now an hour away, and based on the 66 nautical miles that it would be away, the immediate threat of tsunami has passed our general area.
All right, much ado about nothing for the tsunami.
The tsunami warning is clear, and we are about to pick up anchor and head out to a new spot here in Vava'u. We just ran aground. We didn't get stuck. We're not taking on water, knock on wood, it doesn't seem like. Nate is going to jump in. We just turned the engines off, and he's gonna jump in and make sure there's not any catastrophic damage on the bottom that we just can't see.
Did you have one of the kids, you turned the wheel all the way to one way and then all the way to the other? All right, I'm gonna swim over to the other side to ask you to do it again.
How was it down there?
The keel structurally is not a concern. Meaning, it'd take more than that. The rudder structurally is a concern. That's where I wanted to turn the rudder. Seems like we're okay. I'll give it a closer to corner at anchor.
So what happened? We just thought we were somewhere where we weren't?
No, we knew where we were. So the fidelity of the maps is not what it is in other parts of the world, but we know that. And we have a track where this boat has been before. But when I was coming through, I was like, boy, it is really shallow. I was sort of on pins and needles and there was stuff all around. But we came through there, 4 days ago, hit something this time. It's a cloudy day, the visibility isn't as well as I would like.
Yeah, and it is so true that when you're going through these shallow, tight waters where you don't have good charts, going on a sunny day when the sun is straight above or a little bit behind you is key. We could not see anything. Look, I have to say I was slightly blasé because we had done it before and we know the boat's gone through there before. I was merrily eating a sandwich, not watching up front.
So what did we learn from running aground? We learned one of the oldest lessons there is. It's important to be able to see where you're going. Technology, charts, GPS, satellite imagery, tracks of where you've been are all great. And there's no way we would have made it to over 12,000 miles without touching bottom without those things. But sometimes there's just no substitute for having the sun over your shoulder and keeping a sharp watch.
We are going to a feast.
What kind of feast?
A Tongan feast.
Ooh.
It's gonna be an arduous adventure just to get there.
So stay tuned for that.
It's not like your average Saturday night going out to dinner.
Dad,
before.
I
My running shoes on.
I don't either. I flip flops on as well.
Nobody needs to get hurt before we go to the feast.
I'm not gonna get hurt. Okay, fine.
Oh,
You're gonna
there he
discourage
goes.
me from running.
Go, go, go.
No.
Oh, look. There's another cow.
Karen, he's gonna
This cow can't even bother to pick its head up to check out what the disturbance is. Woohoo!
They're fine.
Go, Kieran, go!
Go, Dad!
On the trip back into town, one of my transmissions stopped engaging. It had been struggling for a while, but would always find a gear after a few seconds and then run okay once in gear. Well, this time nothing. Even though I still had one engine left, I dutifully threw out my head sail and sailed close haul back to town, just in case something else went wrong. Broken down transmission in a small town in Tonga in the middle of the South Pacific could be a pretty big wrench in the works. But wait for it. Scout has a spare, brand new transmission. Sure, we may sail slow and heavy, but we come prepared for as much as possible. In all honesty, I have to give the prior owner credit for most of the spares on board. I inherited a very well-provisioned vessel. Now all that I needed to do was swap it out, which wasn't too bad. Sure, I had to get the engine off its mounts and disconnect the prop, but mostly it was just a lot of bolts going out and then back in, and voila, I was back in business. After a rough series of events, we decide to end on a high note. Given where we travel, we see fish and chips on the menu quite a bit. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes not so much. But the best fish and chips we've ever had is from an unlikely place, a floating restaurant. The hideaway fillets the fish, cuts the fries, and cooks them up all while floating in Cocoa Bay. Just dinghy up and eat there, or take it back to your boat.
All right, we just got back with world famous fish and chips from the hideaway. So excited!
Thanks for watching this week's episode. We hope you join us next week on Sailing Scout. And please hit that subscribe button.